Welcome back to what feels like it's an annual event where I give my feelings on XDefiant. Yeah, it's been over a year since I last played the game. I've played this game from day one. I've been supporting it since day one, and so I don't want to harp on and say the same things as I've seen in the past. Obviously, we've just completed the server test in 2024. It is April 2024. We got a couple of days to play the game again, and I'd like to just share with you what I'm thinking right now. As we're told that the game is getting closer and closer to launch, although we've been told that before and nothing has happened for over a year. So, yeah, let's get into it. So there's no need for me to harp on about a lot of things in XDefiant because disappointingly it was hard to find a lot of things that had changed. They've been developing this game for quite a couple of years now, and when they were due to launch about maybe 12-13 months ago, and then everything stopped and they decided to completely reconfigure the game's netcode as I understand it, and then yeah, everything sort of went dark. And Mark Rubin, who is the main guy for the XDefiant communication, I mean, I've got to say they've been very good at giving us communication on this game, but then it all went quiet, and his explanation for it going quiet is there really wasn't too much to say about the game. So we wind forward to April this year, and yeah, we finally get our hands on the game again after they've tinkered significantly, as they report, with the netcode in the game. And yeah, I've got to say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm scratching my head a little bit with this server test, because I'm trying to figure out what has significantly changed this game and what they've been doing for the last 6-12 months, because this game really, there's been some small tweaks to the UI. Certainly it has changed in the background, and I'll get into that in a minute, but the menus are the same, the game modes are the same, the maps are the same. What have they been doing for the last 12 months? I just do not get it. Now, I'm not a game developer, so yeah, I'm sure it's not as easy as we might think, but again, doesn't seem like a lot has changed. It really doesn't seem like a lot has changed, so it has me kind of a little bit mystified to what the heck is going on. Now, having said that, day one I hop on and I go back to my old videos that I did on the settings and my weapon builds. I get all that sorted out before I even shoot a bullet, and only to find that all those settings are completely useless. Completely useless. I had to probably the first couple of hours that I played this game, I wasn't competitive because I was trying to optimize all my settings again and work on my weapon builds and get them to a point where I could actually be competitive. And that's not unusual for XDefiant. XDefiant is one of those games, ladies and gentlemen, when you get your hands on it, there is a very, very steep learning curve, and yeah, you're gonna get a little bit frustrated until you get everything kind of optimized and settled down to where you want to play the game. Now, like I said, I've done a couple of videos on that, and hopefully those videos will be useful as we go into the launch of the game. So hopefully they don't change things too much, but I wouldn't be surprised if it changes again. I've got to say, for all the different play sessions I've had on this game, this was by far the glitchiest build of the game that I have seen to date. Absolutely. I was getting all kinds of error codes. We've got the Mic 1 code. I couldn't play zone control, which is probably my favourite game mode out of all the game modes that they offer. Couldn't play zone control till the very last day of the beta, and I got I didn't even get one game in, I got half a game in, and that was it. So I was a bit upset by that. I was getting an error which said my controller was disconnecting at times, and Yeah, so that was the first thing. The second thing that I couldn't quite figure out is it was a worldwide server test, and yet the lobby queuing times were ridiculously slow. It was very slow to get into lobbies. A lot of the time I'd queue, and then I'd get the mic 1 error. It would start to create a match, and then I'd get kicked out of the game. And yeah, that was very, very frustrating. Again, keep in mind this was a beta. It is still in a test phase, but I would have thought by now, as they're telling us that they're getting close to launch, that a lot of this stuff would have been ironed out. And quite frankly, it wasn't for me. It wasn't a great experience for the first couple hours of the game. And that's quite disappointing, because I'm a huge supporter of this game. Don't get me wrong, I love this game, but it was quite surprising to see so much. Me having so many problems trying to actually just get into lobbies. There's this weird thing that happens as well at the end of games where it kind of brings up all your score, and I like how they've got the end of game lobbies. Even if you don't win, they're trying to put a positive spin on what you've achieved in the game, which I kind of like. You can give your lobby mates or your lobby companions a thumbs up and give them encouragement on what they've achieved during the game that you've just played, which I think is fantastic. But then there's like this weird gap where it just goes into this kind of loading sequence. You get a black screen, and then eventually the scoreboard pops up. It's very, very strange, and I've never experienced that with the game before. It was really, I don't know. It was just kind of weird. There's a couple of conclusions I draw from that. Either that's something in the new build of the game that needs fixing. Number two, maybe the servers that they're using are slow, or there's a problem with them, and I've watched many commentators make their kind of review videos on this game over the last couple of days, and a lot of them are talking about the quality of the server connections that they've had. So maybe that's it, and I hope this is not the case, just people have just lost interest and there wasn't a huge amount of people playing at any one time. I don't know, but that slow lobby population was consistent across a number of different game modes. It wasn't just one. I tried to play as many different game modes as possible. There were some inconsistencies in the audio for me, and they said that this is something that they worked on. But the audio, the footstep audio, there is, just so you know, there is no kind of footstep dampening. At least I couldn't find one. It might be buried in one of the factions, but certainly with the majority of players, player models that I played around with, and I did play around with the different factions and whatnot, there's no footstep, there's no dead silence as such. But so you should be able to hear people running around the map. That wasn't the case. It was very, very inconsistent. Sometimes I would hear it like they were in the next suburb, and sometimes they'd run straight past me and I wouldn't hear a thing. So that still needs work. Some of the positives though, you know, this game is still doesn't have any disbanding lobbies. The hit detection for me feels much better, although yeah, I've seen some clips online, and I really need to go back and review some of my footage to see, because there were some gunfights that just didn't make any sense for me. But that's not exclusive in XDefiant problem. I see that happen in Call of Duty a lot and other shooters. So yeah, there are still some netcode hit detection issues. I think no skill-based matchmaking, but there was input matchmaking in the game to play around with. One thing I did find, or maybe it was just I'm used to playing Call of Duty, but the slide in this game feels like it was been nerfed. The slide seemed a bit slow to me in this game. I mean, this is a very fast-paced arcade shooter, and the slide felt as though something had happened with it. Didn't seem as good. So apart from that, did I have a good time with XDefiant? sort of. I'm extremely disappointed because I had really high hopes for this game, and I still do. But I was extremely disappointed that they've delayed it a year. Nothing feels as though it really changed significantly in this game. And yeah, will I play it on launch? Absolutely I will, but it just seems like on the outside not a lot has changed, and so when you, and I'm sure it has, I'm sure in the background there's been a lot of work done on this, but when you as a player feel like that, you're like, why has it been delayed for so long? What is going on? Why haven't they launched it yet? And I think the fundamental problem that I have with this is the fact that they're starting to get people's interest is starting to wane. It's starting to fall off. People are starting to get bored with the whole X-Defiant saga, and if they don't launch soon, I don't think this game will do as well as it should. And I remember when I first played it, it was like, wow, breath of fresh air. Now I'm kind of okay, yeah, okay, it's just X-Defiant. So I think they either need to make some significant changes, or just launch the bloody game, for goodness sake. Ubisoft, just get on with it. And you know, if there are some things that need fixing beyond that, do what Activision do and just fix it on as we go. We are happy to have the game in its current form, honestly. But just get the game out. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I maybe sound a little bit negative about this game. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not negative about this game. I love this game, and I want to give honest feedback, and I always try and give honest feedback on the games that we put out in the channel. Okay, thanks for being awesome. Thanks for supporting me as ever on my little journey on YouTube. We're only a wee channel, tiny wee channel, but we punch above our weight, and that is down to you guys. Thanks so much for the support, and if you enjoyed the video, a like rating is absolutely appreciated. It really does help us out here, and we'll catch you next time on Gaming for XP. See ya.